This is Sunset Vibes TV. Raw.
And so the people at Ford, what are the risks that are associated with cybersecurity and how we approach it? If we think just about the threats but not the impact, then we sometimes don't appreciate the risks that come with it. And so when we talk about how we are going to mitigate vulnerabilities and remediate breaches, we have to look at how we do so securely. And this really begins with the creation of a secure talent pipeline that will deliver in the near, medium, and long term skilled professionals in a very sustainable manner, so that we don't have to necessarily look abroad for the talent, and we can actually find persons to do the work who are coming out of universities, not just theoretically enabled, but practically empowered to hit the ground running. So what the CERT division aims to do this year, and very fortuitously, October has 5 weeks this year, if you look at it that way. So we get an extra week to really sort of engage with you in a more amplified way. But we start the first week by looking at just how the public sector delivers cybersecurity to Jamaica for Jamaicans on behalf of the government. The government is really a facilitator for cybersecurity. And what we do is facilitate the other two bubbles. The next layer out is the bodies corporate, both public and private, that must deliver secure data collection, storage, and the provision of services or access to services to the people. And the third layer are you, the individuals. How do you treat with simple things like your own cyber hygiene or cyber delinquency, your own devices, and what practices do you take into the workplace and how those practices impact the delivery of secure services and the creation of data-safe spaces. Then we recognize that government can't do it alone, so we're going to focus in week 2 on the private sector. And here we're looking primarily at the medium, small, and micro enterprises, recognizing that for a lot of these enterprises, cybersecurity for them is still the concept, it will not happen to me. But as we look to leverage technology, a lot of these entities are doing PCI type data collection. So you go, you use a card or you use your phone to pay for services and goods. They're taking that information, they're storing it, sometimes in very insecure manners. And so what we're trying to do is to bring them on board so that they appreciate cost-effective and sometimes free services that can help them to improve the security of your data at the point of collection, while it is stored, when it is in transit, and to ensure that they can demonstrate that they destroy your data when they no longer have a need for it. Week 3, we're going to look at the citizenry in communities. We've started this with the Ministry of National Security, with our community cyber programs, and we've had 2 so far. One in Kingston, one in Montego. What we found during these things was that there are a lot of members of the communities who don't really appreciate what cybersecurity does for them and the secure use of technology, as well as the secure provision of their data and their rights as data subjects. So we're bringing the Office of the Information Commission on board, we're working with the Ministry of National Security, and we're taking cybersecurity to the communities. For week 3, as we do each year, is really to focus on the schools, the children. 2 years ago, we pivoted from focusing on university students, and we started looking at the primary level. And the idea here is that the next generation of cyber professionals, warriors, are not people who look like me, not even people who look like you. They are the toddlers who are running around with the little blocks and the phones, they're taking your phones, they're using their tablets. Those are the next generation of cyber professionals. But if you go into a primary school and you ask, what does a cybersecurity professional look like? Nobody really knows. So we're going to, over the next 5 years, create the content, teach or train the teachers to deliver this content, and work it into the curriculum. We've already started the work with the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information, And we're going to ensure that this is not just a one-off for the 5 years, but a sustainable process. At the secondary level, we recognize that there's an ICT curriculum in place. We're going to add cybersecurity to that. We'll develop the content, train the deliverers of this content, and we're going to make it so that by the time you get to Fifth Form or Upper Six, you appreciate the career paths, you appreciate the value of cyber, and you are willing to see cyber as a viable career opportunity. At the university level, we're going to, with the UCJ, the University Council of Jamaica, conduct a desk review of all the currently approved cybersecurity programs. What we're looking to do here is to streamline the delivery of content and to ensure that it is being done to international best practices. Where there are gaps, we will work with the entities to fix these. But we also recognize that the persons leaving the university, while theoretically empowered and enabled, can't do the work practically. So if you deliver a cybersecurity program, we're going to see whether or not you have the capacity to deliver the practical component. If you have it, but it needs work, we will help you to fix it. If you don't, we will help you to build it. This requires significant partnership, and cybersecurity, as I've always said, is a team sport. In week 4, we're going to focus on the national critical infrastructure, our energy sector, transportation, telecommunications, those engines of efficiencies that drive national progress. And we have to do this because the compromise of any of these entities will have significant knock-on effects for everybody concerned. And to do that in practical terms, when we look over the last 2 years at the cyber activity within the financial sector, we have chosen the financial sector as the area of focus this year. And so right here at Jamaica House, on the back lawns, we will have a simulation exercise that chronicles the attack on the financial sector that over a period of time cripples it, and how we as a country, including the incident response teams within the banks, the regulators, the Financial Services Commission and the DOJ, law enforcement, the JCF and MOCA, as well as your national CERT, will tackle this problem and respond so that in the event it actually happens, you're assured that your country has the resources to at least get the ball rolling in terms of identifying the issue, containing the problem, responding in terms of sanitation, and have the capacity to upskill up man if the need arises. So Cybersecurity Awareness Day will take place on October 30. The opening ceremony will be in this very room, and some of you will be invited back to participate. But the day's activities will take place on the back lawn, and it will feature this immersive experience into how the financial sector responds to and secure your digital assets. Before we get there on the 23rd, we have National Cybersecurity Awareness Month Career Day. And this will take place at the University of Technology in Lecture Theatre 50. And what we're hoping to do this year is to do more than just talk to you. We'll have a virtual tour of our Security Operations Center since we can't take you there. And we will show you what a day in the life of a cybersecurity professional in a Security Operations Center in Jamaica at the national level looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, your national cybersecurity setup has an average age of 22 years. That's how young the team that protects your country is. And the idea here is that as persons like me step away, succession planning is in place and the future is guaranteed. We will have a number of marketing strategies that we have implemented. We have already had the think tank at the GIS, and this went well, if we may say so ourselves. There'll be cyber nuggets that we will push out. There will be trivia questions and quizzes that will have some prizes available for those who participate and answer. And the signature events for this year really remains the Career Symposium, which We're targeting all 3 levels of the education sector here in Jamaica. And CyberXGM, which is our national cybersecurity exercise, is being reintroduced. We had a challenge with the platform provider who retooled, refocused, and no longer provided the services that we require. And the procurement process to get a new platform does take a while. But we believe we've identified one such, and we're going to have the exercise this year again. And what this is, it's really bringing all the stakeholders within a particular sector or nationally together to demonstrate in practical terms what would happen in the event there was a cyber incident that had national impact or import. But we must make mention of who serves you and what we've been doing for the last 10 years. Cyber